as all of you know, this man, Andrae Crouch, is a living legend. He's been a blessing to this generation and the generations to come. I remember I first heard about you in the 70s, and they said that what you had was so different and so special because you were like a father of contemporary Christian music.
I think that might have been my dad.
It wasn't really you, huh?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
What was it that spurred within you as a young man to do what you did, and how has it impacted? How have you seen the impact?
Well, I think exposing myself to all kinds of people as far as different cultures and different friends that I had in school, I think that prompted me to want to communicate Jesus Christ to them, and knowing that every group of persons that I enjoyed being around, they mainly had a cultural differences, their own cultural differences. The blacks were different than Mexicans, and the Mexicans were different than the Asians, and Jews were different than the Gentiles. But I had friends in all these areas, and so I always tried my best to relate to them in a way, musically, to present Jesus to them on a slide, real sneaky.
It was very effective. As a matter of fact, it was whites who told me about Andrae Crouch.
Really?
Have you ever heard of Andrae Crouch? You really need to hear his music.
Really?
That's what it was.
Well, I think that when we get out of the position of not caring who knows but us, I think we're in a dangerous situation, and God is not using us to our maximum ability or potential. And so when God lets me meet different kinds of people, I try my best to say, how can I reach that person, or what would it take for them to live what I have to say. So I do it on the sly, I do it without them realizing that they've been targeted.
Well, evidently it was God's method, and it has certainly been effective. And I remember when you introduced the Winans, that was really special for me too.
Yes, they such a phenomenal family. I don't think I've ever met one family where everybody that does music is heard of. It's always somebody that maybe you might have heard that they sang, but you never heard anything they did. But every single one of the Winans that does music, you've heard of them.
Yes, and God used you to be a pioneer in that. What is God doing with you now? What's happening with you? I know you're pastoring a church in California. What else is happening with you?
And music continuously just comes. Some days I write 4 and 5 songs in one day. I don't really think a man's gift will stop if he will allow himself to be used of the Lord. And when God gives you a gift, it'll keep coming. I think it's people, they get fatigued and they get tired and they burn out, and they say, I don't want to do that anymore. Like a prophet is not honored in his own land. And I think mainly that's because he doesn't want to be. Sometimes he doesn't want anybody to know where he lives, and he doesn't want to seem special. And so I think as long as we have the energy, and as long as we want to be used of God, he'll use us with the same gift. Some of the things that my father told me when he would share guys like Walt Disney, he said some of the things that this guy, that God gave him, will last until Jesus comes. And I think that God will continuously use us if we want to be used.
Any new projects? Is anything happening with you?
Yeah, I have a new record coming out in a couple months called Mighty Wind. It says, like the direction of a mighty wind, the direction of a mighty wind, come and fill our hearts
Is it a
again.
Is it a new move that God is doing with
Yes,
in you?
yes.
All right, Andre, we thank you for the time. We know it's late. We appreciate you taking the time, and we love you. Thank you so much for the
Thank you.
sacrifice you've made.
Thank
It's
you.
been a blessing to many people.